Hi, my name is Debris, and I'm going to be addressing two psychosocial concepts. The first one I'm going to be addressing is cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a contradictory mental state or a state of psychological conflicts or anxiety resulting from a contradiction between a person simultaneously held attitudes or belief and their actual attitudes in real life. However, it must be voluntary. This is excessively expressed on Ivy League school campuses in regards to hazing fraternities. This is excessively expressed in regards to Dartmouth and Cornell University.
So last month we told you guys about a hazing incident at Dartmouth University, and it involved Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity. And basically there was a former member of the fraternity who wrote about some of the hazing scandals that happened within that fraternity in a student newspaper. Now that student is Andrew Louse, and in the article he wrote about how the fraternity pressured pledges to swim in a kiddie pool of rotten food, vomit, and other bodily.
The students admitted into these prestigious colleges have a consensus of moral understanding based on their religiosity, media, family, friends, etc., that will allow them to perpetuate and prosper in society. However, all this is dismantled when we come to realize the hegemonic influence of institutions such as Dartmouth that allow people to act in a way that contradicts their own internal positions. This was expressed plainly and precisely through Andrew B. Louse's book, Party at the End of the World, when he writes, "Not long ago, I was a coke-addicted elitist Dartmouth college frat boy watching my life slip away. I got impossibly far from my humble conservative middle-class suburban upbringing that a nihilistic alter ego seemingly overtook how I had been before." This also corresponds with Cornell University as well. According to Cornell.edu, evidence shows that although 82% of the population at Cornell believe it's not ever okay to humiliate or intimidate new members, 37% participate in at least one incident that would be considered under the university's definition of hazing. Cornell University is also known for the second documented death on a U.S. campus in regards to hazing, when Kappa Alpha Sigma Pledge martyr man Legend fell into a 6-mile creek gorge in Ithaca, New York, and died afterwards while trying to find his way back home after being dropped into the woods. This was not the only incidence of death as regard to hazing through cognitive dissonance. When we see this insight, we can work better to formulate strategies to mend the social injustices, such as getting the oppressor to understand the initial trauma that has been caused to the victim, as well as working to progress as individuals by writing formal apologies and understanding the impact that it has on a person merely trying to seek a friend or a group to belong to in order to ameliorate the struggles of isolation in American society. Control processing is a type of processing which requires effortful thinking and cognitive processes in order to function, because you cannot do more than one control process at a time, whereas it will eventually become, or has the potential to become, an automatic process, which is involuntary, which requires no effort or no logic, and it can be as involuntary as a heartbeat.
Relief man passing. Relief man passing.
In the See Modern Times, he examples an example of automatic processing due to his lack of attention or thought while screwing the nuts to the parts in the factory. He continues to twitch based on the involuntary responses from doing the activity on a day-to-day basis. The next scene shows a guy texting without looking to express how texting is an automatic response which requires no effort or cognitive process in order to continue a conversation to another individual. In the scene from I Love Lucy, she engages in control processing, which requires thought and effortful processing, given that it's a new task for her and her job experience lacked due to her function as a stay-at-home housewife, which will lead her to fall behind in her work.